Method's got it! Unbelievable!
Episode 8 of Lil and Ben. Lil coming off International Women's Day, an exciting one for the AFLW podcast. How did you spend your day?
I'm not sure if anyone follows me on Instagram, but yes, International Women's Day yesterday, and it was really fun. My friend organised like cork and canvas kind of vibe, where you like paint and have a few drinks on the side. Didn't drink, of course, because athlete, but we just did it in the backyard. And if you saw on Instagram, I can't paint at all. I was awful. My friends were much more talented than what I thought they were, and my painting was horrendous, but spent with very inspirational, loving, caring, powerful women who I call my friends.
That is the perfect answer. Now, we've got a very special guest, someone who was a star on the weekend, probably the best ruckman at the club, I'm going to say. Lauren Pearce. Welcome, Loz.
Don't let Maggie hear that one.
Maggie Karras.
I was thinking Gorney.
Max Gawn, I thought was going to take
way better than Gorney.
Maggie Karras, how is she going?
She's gone well, yeah, I think so. She did well on the weekend, actually, from what I heard.
Yeah, in the VFL. She's tall.
She's very tall.
She's very tall. She's really similar to... Have you spent much time with her?
Enough.
She's very similar personality to Loz, so hopefully she can be as good as Loz also.
Well,
in time.
Loz is in great form, coming off 9 coaches' votes in our win over St Kilda.
9 out of however many.
10.
Out of 10.
Hey.
90%.
Which means one of the coaches gave you 5, one of the coaches gave you 4. Eden Zanker also got 9. Who gave you the 4?
I reckon our coach.
You reckon Mick's...
No, I don't know.
Did he prefer your game or Edo's?
Ooh.
I reckon Mick would have given Edo 5, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nothing against you.
No, it's fine. I like it.
Peter Sale must have given you 5, so...
Maybe.
Or 4, who
Obviously,
knows? Doesn't really matter.
Room for improvement.
Yeah, got to go for the 10 in the next few weeks.
Where does it come from, Loz? Your improvement?
Uh,
How are we getting 10 next week?
Kicking straight.
Yeah.
Missed a goal.
Mids goals, though.
Yeah, imagine if I kicked that goal, maybe I would have gotten 10.
You probably would have. But you didn't.
Yeah, thanks.
We talked about Tyler Hanks a fair bit on this podcast. She was our guest
Stop
last
it.
week.
Don't bring her up again.
She got
I was asked about her at halftime too. So
she got 6 coaches' votes. That means she's polled in every game so far. 7th on the leaderboard. We'll just say, again, a lock for Rising Star. One thing I noticed when you walked in was you had a massive bruise on your leg. A lot of the girls have bruises at the moment. It's a physical game. How did that one come about?
I actually don't know. I wake up the next day and I have bruises everywhere and I don't actually know when I get them. So
do you get them?
Yeah, I've got heaps at the moment too. I'm really banged up.
Can you point yours out during the game? You know when you got them, or they just show up?
A couple of corkies, so you always kind of remember that initially. But there's like 4 points in my quad at the moment, and I'm like, surely someone stomped on me. It looks like the back 4 studs. But I don't remember that. But that's definitely what it looks like. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. Someone
who you might not think likes the contact as much as Tegan Cunningham. You mentioned that before the show. She chopped out in the ruck a fair bit on the weekend. Were you happy with how she went?
I thought she was good. She actually loved it in there. She was making eye contact in the ruck, going, "Yep, Lil, like we're on here, me and you." And I was like, "This has not happened before." But no, I thought she, put her hand up and she did the rucks proud. Did you think?
Yeah, I thought she did great. As she's coming into it, she was a bit worried. She's like, what do I do here? What do I do there? And I'm like, just play football. It's not that stressful. And after the game, as you said, she actually enjoyed it. So,
which I was surprised she had fun because she always says, "I'm never playing ruck. I don't want to do it. I don't want
that
the
has
contact."
been the case for the last few years, and now she realises, I think, that she's closer to the ball when she's in there. So that could be a bit of confidence for her.
There were a few structural changes. Daisy Pearce, obviously our favourite Pearce, went forward and kicked a couple of goals. What was the go with the celebrations? Honestly, like, what was that all about?
Well, wait, what did you think of the celebration? Did you like it?
I told her, she was asking pre-game what she should go, and I told her just to point to the sky like Jonathan Brown used to do, like just a bit of, you know you're good sort of thing. I thought that would have been better. She went with something else.
Well, she did go with something else.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Oh,
I actually don't know what when she was asked post-game in the interview, I've never laughed this hard when she told me this. She said Abby Holmes was interviewing her post-game, and she said, and there was an interesting goal celebration, Days. Like, talk us through that. And all she said was, all I can reveal is to kill or to be killed. And Abby just goes, oh, to kill or to be killed. And Daisy felt so bad, like in hindsight, going, if that was me and I was interviewing a player and that's all they gave you, I would be so lost.
Put you right on the spot.
But yeah, Daisy, it was a bit of a Hunger Games sort of theme during the week, sprucing a few things up after a couple of losses. Daisy go forward. We thought we were all Katniss 17. Daisy's our spiritual leader down forward. And that's a scene in the movie. So that's where the celebration came from. Daisy actually came to Kate and mine on Friday night for dinner and joined Pastor Club. And we were like, if you kick a goal, like, you're going to have to do it. She's like, do you dare me? Do you dare me? And we're like, yeah, we dare you. Like, do it, Daisy. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And she's like, and if I get interviewed post-game, that's what I'm going to say. And we're like, do you dare me? And we're like, we're not daring you to do anything. But sure, if you're asking us to dare you, then we dare you, I guess. So anyway, that was the celebration. It didn't really have much relevance at all, to be honest, to anything.
But it worked.
But
It
funny.
worked. It was funny.
It was funny for us. We could play off it.
Gave us something to talk about as well.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed, it's a strange one. People often write things on their wrist tape. Shelley Heath, there was a photo and she actually didn't even have tape, but she wrote stuff on her wrist. Do you write anything ever?
What did she write on it?
I asked her and she didn't tell me.
Oh,
So,
maybe
who
we need
knows?
to take a photo a bit closer and
Yeah.
zoom in game day. There's a few actually that write things.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, there is.
What-
I don't do it.
any idea what the general theme of those?
Some girls put like what they're wanting to do for the game.
Right.
Think.
Just in case they
I
forget.
think
Oh, just a reminder, like, this isn't one, but like tough.
Right.
And every time they look at it, they'll be tough. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I think it's something.
Superpowers.
No, I think lots of the girls work with Elise, our psych here, our sports psych, and I think it's like a bit of a reset, sort of like mindful, be present,
Gotcha.
and if you can look down at something that triggers, you to then be present and in the moment. I think that's kind of more so where it comes from, rather than.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
a
what
good
I
answer.
meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we
Yeah.
were on a similar thread.
Yeah.
I just add a bit more substance to your story rather than be tough, yeah, tough. Rah.
A bit more brains there.
It was a good answer. We were also treated by the Sporting Globe afterwards, a good feed, proud sponsor of the club.
Yep, proud sponsor, Sporting Globe, hooked us up with some Nourish balls post game. So
Didn't mind the pulled pork.
yeah,
What did you have?
I had the chicken.
Yeah.
What did you have, Ben?
I had the pork and
Struggled, I heard.
yeah, so I hang around a little bit later just doing a few things after the game.
Oh, we
And
get
so
it. You are a workaholic. You do everything for the club.
I wanted to head home and I hadn't eaten yet. So I ate on the way home. And it's a real issue when you have a fork in one hand, a tub of pork in the other, and you're trying to drive. So a few swerves. Have you ever had those sort of issues?
I don't eat food while I drive. Do you, Lil?
So responsible.
Do you?
Every now and again, yeah.
Yeah. Coffee though.
Coffee always. I had a salad. I was driving to work, I think. Or maybe to footy from work. And I had this salad. And I was so hungry. I needed to eat it. It had no cutlery. And it was like a grainy kind of salad. And I was just like, no, I'm just going to eat it. Just my hands. Yeah, I did it. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling this story. It's a bad story and I look stupid. So let's move on, shall we?
Speaking of car incidents, I heard that Lauren Pearce was on the receiving end of one, potentially over the off-season. I don't know if the driver of that car was eating pork or salad, but can you give us any insight into that?
What happened?
There was a potential little incident with a car in the off-season. And you?
Oh! I was like, what happened? Yeah, I may have gotten my feet ran over by a car.
How bad was that?
Bad enough that they were worried there could be a fracture,
Right.
but
But
there
Lossie's
wasn't.
made of steel.
Exactly.
She's tough.
The car just bounced off me and kept going. No, it was silly on my behalf, so we won't go into it.
Did you take
Not that silly.
Did you take the person's details?
No, we were in a hurry to get to the airport, so we made sure the car was all right. And
Make sure the car wasn't too
Off-
damaged
off
after
we went.
hitting your feet.
Well, yeah, the way you
Well-
told me the story, the people abused you for
yeah, they got
apparently
out of
getting
the
in the
car,
road.
and it was my fault in the end, not crossing properly. But yeah, got out and started having a go at me, swearing at me, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" I just cried. Tom's there going, "Mate, relax. Like,
You've just hit her.
like, is your car fine? We're late to the airport. Like, is it all right?" What is she doing? And I'm like, oh my God, just let's go. Please, please, please. I said, is your car fine? As long as your car's fine, I don't care. I'll be fine. And they're like, yeah, looking around. I'm like, I don't even care if their car's sorry. But I like, I just need to get to the airport.
That's making it.
I just need to get to the airport. Like, anyway, got to the airport, needed to ice it. Asked the lady if there'd be ice on the plane, and she told me to not actually ask them on the plane because they'll probably kick me off and tell me I can't go home because it's a liability to them. So I iced it for about 10 minutes while I was waiting to board the flight. Had to quickly put my shoes back on, hobble into the flight and just deal with it for the next hour and then ice when I got home. It's not fun. And Tom, I think most times I've been on holidays with Tom leading into footy season, I reckon I've hurt myself 2 or 3 times in his presence, and he's like, we are never going away in that time again.
It's probably wise.
Well,
it's good advice from Tom.
It is, but still.
You're just silly also.
8 episodes in, that's our first F-bomb.
I know.
Boom.
Everyone's done well. Everyone's done well, or Lozzie's just not good.
It fired me out. I just got really annoyed because that person was being
Passion
really...
in the story, that's okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Something I mentioned at the season launch were your eyelashes. You weren't happy with how that was sort of told, that story. Can you tell us?
You didn't tell it right.
Well,
you said I chopped my own eyelashes off.
I'm not going to throw my source under the bus, but Maddie Gay may have fed me incorrect information. So
I chopped them after I got them done.
Right, so
said to the girl, hey, I don't want them too full on, like natural. She said, yeah. And I said, and I play sport, like needs to be okay for that. Yep. She goes and goes. An hour and a half later, I'm like, oh wow, it's taken a long time. And then she showed me the mirror, and I was like, oh, like this is a bit extreme. She's like, oh, okay. I said, if I go home like this, my mum's gonna give me shit. So's my dad. Like this isn't good. So she took a few off, and then still got home, had a family dinner that night, and a few people might have laughed at me. So before I came to the club, I think it was the next day, I'm like, in the morning, if I wake up and I hate them, I've got to do something. So I just trimmed them quite a bit and they're still a bit full, but they're a lot shorter.
Just do this.
No, not that way, in this way.
Oh,
so
nice.
You know how hairdressers do that? Yeah. That's what I did.
very good. Defeats the purpose of getting fake eyelashes, but I guess
They
what you
were
got to do.
fixed, so like I didn't have to wear mascara or anything.
Yeah.
That sort of helped.
They did the job.
Yeah.
You looked beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
We're going to cut to a break shortly. We got a guess. You just went and found one because we're having a little bit of trouble. We wanted Pat McKenna. Now, he's unavailable, but I was in the Demon shop the other day. There are 2 Pat McKenna jumpers available for purchase. Player issued, not match worn because he never actually debuted. They are $200 each.
What? That's a rib.
I would say that's severely overpriced, but...
Or is that
As
Is he selling them like independently?
they're...
Is that him just being like,
Possibly.
here's my jumper, someone buy them.
I don't think he ever
I'm
got-
short of cash and I want $400.
I don't reckon he ever got given a jumper, but they are in the Demon shop. So
Hey, a bit of vintage.
Yeah,
Like,
go
no
so-
longer plain.
no, yeah, collector's item.
Yeah.
Yeah, never worn. So we'll get
Maybe they'll
our
give it away for free next week.
What number was he?
48 maybe. That's a
Bad
guess.
number.
I'll check that.
Yeah.
It's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, it
Never
is.
played.
It really doesn't matter. I'm not buying it. You're not buying it.
No.
I don't
No.
know who would.
Definitely not.
His mum?
Maybe.
Oh, no.
All right, we've got one segment before we go to the break. Each episode for the season, we have dropped a keyword, and the game was that if the viewers at home could jot down every keyword throughout the season, we'd give away one signed team jumper. We're going to give it away next week because we want to talk to someone, one of the fans on this podcast. Can you give the final keyword?
The final keyword, it's very original, but the keyword is complete.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So all fans have to do is, if they have all 8 keywords, just send us a message via Instagram or Twitter and go in the draw to win one signed team jumper. Very exciting stuff. We'll be back after this.
It's the 2020 AFLW semi-final. There's 1 minute to go. The D's are down by 3 points. Snap to inside 50. Oh no, it's a mongrel kick. Mithen marks. '21 is all about kicking goals. Thanks to Zurich Insurance and Tackle Your Feelings mental health training program, every goal kicked can give your club a chance to win a junior footy prize pack. So So all you need to do is tell us why your local footy club should win.
Welcome back to Lil and Ben. Lil's gone and grabbed a fourth panel.
Sixth,
I was going to say
seventh.
panel
What are you
member.
saying?
I was going to say panel member. Second guest. Let's go second guest.
Yeah.
All right.
There's two of us, so that's one, and then I'm two, or
I got you.
I'm one and you're two,
Yeah.
and then there's just three,
Yeah.
and then now there's a fourth.
So do we want to go?
And the fourth person
Should we go 4 or should we go second guest?
Second guess.
second guest.
And we've got a second guest, Lauren Magee. We'll keep that in. Welcome, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.
A second Lauren as well. I could have gone with that.
That would have been good too.
That would have been better. In different podcasts,
Anyway,
we would
it's
have
Lauren
redone
Magee.
it.
If
It's Lauren
anyone's wondering,
Magee.
if anyone's still lost, Lauren Magee's joined us. So now there's Ben Gibson, there's Lauren Pearce, Lauren Magee, and Lily Mithen.
It's great to have everyone.
And Sam's here too.
Sam's here as well. Her debut on the podcast behind the camera.
Yeah, she's
Great to
doing a
have
great job.
everyone here. We want to talk a little bit about your story on how you got to Melbourne, obviously coming across from Ireland. How did it all come about?
I did a combine in like November 2019 or December, I think it actually was. A guy rang my dad to see if I was interested, and I was in 2 weeks. So then I was like, I may as well just do it. And then obviously seeing the girls being signed that year, I was like, it was a bit more of a push. And then obviously got the chance to come over here in March just to check it out for like a short period, and then COVID hit, so it was kind of up in the air. I didn't know whether I was coming over or not. And Todd kind of rang me one week, was like basically it wasn't happening, and I was like, oh yeah, no worries. And he's trying to ring me the next week, and I was like ignoring him. And he was like, I really need to talk to you. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was like on my way home from training with my club. And he's like, oh yeah, like I have good news. I was like, you literally told me last week you had bad news. So like, obviously I wasn't going to answer the phone to you. And so eventually, then that was when it came about. And he said that they were willing to still sign me with everything going on. And obviously I still thought it was a bit mad because we weren't able to come over until after our season with Dublin's finished. So, and we were hoping that we'd get to the All-Ireland final, which wasn't until the 20th of December last year. So yeah, so it was a bit hectic getting over then after all that.
You haven't had much luck with COVID. Obviously caught in it all in March, and again this year, 2 weeks in isolation in Brisbane. How was being locked in a room by yourself for 2 weeks?
I actually didn't mind the first week because like I've like 6 siblings, so like and then I live with like 3 of them, so I have 3 brothers at home, like with my mum, and it can be a lot. So I was kind of happy with my own space for the first week, but then I think I got to the 8th or 9th day, and I just was in such a bad mood. I was really proactive the first like literally 8-9 days, and then I think I got to the 9th or 10th, and I was just watching movies in bed, like Desperate Housewives and stuff.
Loz, how did you fit into the dynamic when Lauren came over? Because last year you were effectively the 3rd Irish girl. You spent a lot of time with the Irish girls. So have you felt a little bit like she stepped on your toes at all?
Yeah, they found a new Lauren. They don't need me to hang out with them anymore. Nah, they've moved to Port Melbourne now, so it's a bit far away to go see them all.
How is the Port Melbourne house? How's it living with Goldie and Macca?
Yeah, it's great. I actually have my own little room out the back, so anytime I want to escape, I just go outside from the two of them. No, it's great. It's very spacious, and it's called Funky Town.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
the house is called.
Yeah, great.
It's actually called Funky Town.
Loz said there was possums or something?
Yeah, I've had
I
it.
saw a video the other day.
Oh, no,
you throwing shoes in your bathroom.
So my room was like connected to my bathroom's technically outside, but it's like covered over, and there's like I think it's a grape tree. I think the berries are grapes. And
Try one.
No, actually, she's like, you can eat them. The woman who owns it, I was like, I'm not touching them. But one of the first, there was a possum, and he got in like a little small hole, but he was just looking at me. He wouldn't move. Like I was throwing like things not at him, but like towards his direction, and he's just looking at me, wouldn't move. And then I think there's a mouse now, so that keeps coming in. So I text the owners. I was like, hello, just...
Sounds great.
So I was like, because I was like, every time I go to the toilet, I'm like throwing things around to make sure that there's nothing there, so that when I go to the toilet, I don't get any surprises. I was on the phone to someone when I was walking out, and I was like, ah! They're like, what? I was like, I think it's a mouse. But like, it's not on the ground, they're up like he's like up above, like it's on like beams, like wooden beams.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst, but I still don't want them.
Yeah, it's
in my
a bit
room, like basically in my room. So yeah.
With Funky Town, there was I think it was Goldie telling me that you got really excited. You went for a walk down the street and you found a little shop that had all these really cheap hats and lots of hats, and you decided to bring the hats back to Funky Town House.
Oh yeah.
And now everyone wears hats all the time or something.
I found Shopaholic shop, which is like loads of cheap stuff. And I think I bought the most randomest things. Even the man was like, "You've come in here for such random bits." So I was like, it was like all like essential stuff, and then like 3 multicolored sombreros. So I was like, "This is great." And then I went to another shop the other day, and I got another bucket hat. Like I just keep buying hats. I don't know why. I don't even wear them that much. I just think they look really cool.
Apart from wearing hats and obviously having a great time, what are Macca and Goldie like to live with?
They're fine, yeah. No, we're actually get on well. I think we all have kind of similar personalities that when we want our own space or like we're kind of quiet, we kind of know to leave each other alone. But yeah, it's grand. I think the house being spacious and big enough, like we're actually not on each other's toes. And then like Goldie works during the week, and then you just kind of we do our own thing as well. So it's actually, and like the location's really good. So everyone just goes out and just goes on a walk and stuff. So yeah, no, it's been good. No arguments. Few kind of mysteries over like the gear and stuff. I think Laz was there when I was like, "Macca, you took my top and that's my sports bra." She was like, "No, it's not. It wasn't." I was like, "Check my name," because I was the only one at the start to put my name on everything. But other than that, yeah, it's fine.
One of my favourite words that the Irish girls use that probably no one else at the club uses is grand to describe how good something is.
Sound. Sound is another one.
As in what context?
Like it sounds like it's
like
good.
sound.
Good.
That's good.
Is that
Someone who sounds like is a nice person.
right?
Down to earth.
Yeah.
Probably not you.
That's grand.
Lily and
Yeah.
I maybe.
We're pretty sound.
Yeah, no,
Have you-
grand is a word that we just go back to, so it could mean anything. Could mean that we're really
Flexible
good,
term.
or it could mean that like, it's not okay, but we'll get on with it, kind of a thing.
In terms of on-field, obviously a big adjustment going from Gaelic footy to Aussie rules. The ball we'll start with. How have you found holding it, kicking it? It's a completely different shape.
It's hard. I think it's still the drop of ball and kicking. That's the one that I'm very like iffy about. Yeah. It is. I have become a lot better. Like I did 2 sessions before I came over with an AFL Ireland coach, and like I couldn't kick the ball before I did anything with him, and so now it's just about trying to get the technique even better. But I'm getting there. Hopefully I'll get there soon.
Yeah. And the actual game, are there many similarities between the two that you sort of can bring to this?
There is. Like we're not obviously contact property sport, but like it's still physical enough. But I get sin binned at home for being too physical, so it's kind of a good attribute for me to bring over here. So usually it's like you're on your last ward, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like it's just usually the case, but at least now I can actually tackle people and get away with it. Well, for most parts.
And Loz, because your boyfriend Tom, he plays Gaelic. Is that one of the reasons as to why you're so attracted to these Irish girls?
No, definitely not. It was because I had a lot of free time. They had a lot of free time. Coffee club, you know. That's where it started.
Tell us about Tom. How did he get into Gaelic in Melbourne, where I wouldn't have thought Gaelic is much of a common sport?
His dad's Irish, born over there.
Yes,
Tom's lived over there for a little bit. He's got a lot of Irish mates. He was into AFL footy, had heaps of time off that, and then just worked with a lot of Irish guys. And there's a comp down in Keysborough with about 6, maybe 7 teams.
Wow.
He's a bit injured at the moment, but he's been talking about for the last year getting his feet right to go back and play. So
Fun.
we'll hopefully.
He actually bought us a present. He bought us Ballymaloe relish, which is like the best relish ever.
Really?
Yeah.
What flavour?
It's just a tomato relish, but it's
nice.
so good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
There are a few things that I've had through Tom, and I'm like, yep, this is not bad.
You mentioned you got a lot of free time, Loz. Lil and I were talking before about potentially mentioning what you're doing for work. We like to hear what people are up to.
Well,
Wait,
do you want me to-
everyone just spare 30 or 40 minutes so Loz can tell you what she does during the day, because she
it'll
is
take
busy.
forever to tell
She's
you.
busy.
Do you want the short story or the long story?
I want the long one.
long story is nothing. No, I'm only kidding. I'm applying for jobs at the moment. I've gotten to a point in my life that I probably need to start thinking a bit more. I've been studying though.
Yeah.
Some online study, business course, diploma of business. But yeah, it'd be nice to get back into the workforce.
We've got great, obviously, viewers for this podcast.
Guys, hook me up.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
Yeah. We can make it happen.
Not sure. There's a few things that have come up at the moment, so I'm just applying
Great.
for them. Some finance stuff.
Ooh.
Shout out to Kate Scott. She's my friend, but anyway.
Right.
We love you, Kate. Everyone here at the D's love you. Employ my friend.
What are you doing during the day apart from buying hats?
Apart from buying hats. Just trying to do like day trips and stuff, or like just kind of literally just a walk. We're really close to the beach, so generally I end up at the beach, even in the coldest like of days for you. Like we're like, this is lovely.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
Well, what's the difference in temperature?
Oh, like the Irish sea is out freezing. So even like when the days aren't that warm here, like the sea's still like a nice temperature.
Yeah.
Whereas like at home, like it's ice cold. Like even in the summer, like the only benefit is if you get a warm day in Ireland, you're okay getting out. You're a bit warmer getting out. That's the only difference. It's still freezing. Like so. No, I'm enjoying that, and we've did a few like day trips and stuff, and me and Macca have gone to cinema and stuff like that. So that's like all I've been doing. I was going to apply for a course, but I was like, nah, I'll wait. I only did one like there in my last lockdown at home. So I was like, I'll just give myself, like it's like on a big holiday at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like a very long holiday.
Enjoy a big tour of Melbourne. Obviously, getting used to cold conditions is handy, seeing we play at Casey Fields, often a windy place. A big game this weekend, Lil. It's must keep the season alive. We've got a tough run with Adelaide, Freo and Brisbane.
Yeah, I'm excited. We haven't played Adelaide in a while. We didn't play them last year.
Last game of 2019.
Yeah, and they
Got us. We needed to win
us,
to
I
make
think.
finals.
Yeah.
10 goals.
But no, I do like
Casey.
playing Adelaide. Our good friend Noffy.
Yes.
She's always fun to line up against. But no, it'll be good. As you said, must-win game. We're all kind of must-win games here on in. So a few challenging opposition to line up against, but really good opportunity for the groups. Come together, storm home, hopefully. Here we go. Be tough.
We're
That's
revved
all
up.
you'd say.
Exciting times ahead. Girls, thanks very much for your time. Good to chat.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
I loved being with Ben and Lauren and
With
Lauren and me
plus
and Sam,
two,
plus two, and
four,
just everyone in this room has had heaps of fun. It's been great. Thanks, everybody.